Lab Addicts Music
You know what time it is? This is Conversations with Maas. Subscribe now. Lock in. Let's go. Real shit, street shit, man, we watching Maas. Real shit, street shit, man, we call on Maas. Real shit, street shit, man, we watching Maas. Real shit, street shit, man, we call on Maas.
Lab Addicts Music Group.
This is Conversations with Maas.
Lab Addicts Music
You know
Group.
what time it is? This is Conversations with Maas. Subscribe now. Lock in. Let's go. Real shit, street shit, man, we watching Maas. Real shit, street shit, man, we call on Maas. Real shit, street shit, man, we watching Maas. Real shit, street shit, man, we call on Maas.
Lab Addicts Music Group.
This is Conversations with Maas.
Lab Addicts Music
You know what
Group.
time it is? This is Conversations with Maas. Subscribe now. Lock in. Let's go. Real shit, street shit, man, we watching Maas. Real shit, street shit, man, we call on Maas. Real shit, street shit, man, we watching Maas. Real shit, street shit, man, we call on Maas.
Lab Addicts Music Group.
This is Conversations with Maas.
Lab Addicts Music
You know
Group.
what time it is? This is Conversations with Maas. Subscribe now. Lock in. Let's go. Real shit, street shit, man, we watching Maas. Real shit, street shit, man, we call on Maas. Real shit, street shit, man, we watching Maas. Real shit, street shit, man, we call on Maas.
And we call on
Lab
Maas.
Addicts Music Group.
What's goody?
This is
What's
Conversations
goody?
with Maas.
What's good? We got to give thanks to the Most High for allowing us to see another day, another sunrise, another sunset, and another day, another chance to love the people we cherish. Now, with that being said, the weekend is upon us. Weekend is real. And hold on for a second. As we go into the weekend, talking about this week, SNAP benefits, Section 8, mandatory paternity tests. Now on Friday night, talk about sex. What's going on, Juggernaut? And sex's place in the relationship. What power does sex hold in your relationship? Is it somewhat important? Is it not important at all? You know, I want to touch on something. And what does a relationship do when the sex slows down? Maybe it's age, maybe it's stress, maybe it's health. You see a lot of these erectile dysfunction videos. The ladies are happy, these men are taking their pills or whatever. Or maybe it's just life. But at some point, every couple faces a season when sex isn't the same. And that's when real questions hit. Can love survive without sex? And I've had conversations. I have a friend I had a conversation with, and a member is married, and his wife has some challenges. And with those challenges, she's really not sexual. And the man is having a dilemma because he loves his wife. He loves his wife. But he also likes sex. And the question is, can you be married to someone who doesn't want to have sex? Okay with that as a sexual person. Can love survive without sex? See, when we grow up thinking love and sex are one and the same, I, I some people thought that way. Some people think that way. I don't necessarily. Love is a commitment, loyalty, patience, and sacrifice. Whereas sex is the expression of that love to some people. No, it's the spark that reminds you, we still got it. I still got it. We still got it. But some people look at love and sex as the same. And some people believe in, a lot of people don't believe in love. Believe that you can find somebody that you enjoy being with and it can grow to love. But I had one of my homeboys tell me that love wasn't necessary for marriage. I didn't agree with, but he explained it to me and I understood his explanation. But what happens when the spark flickers out? When a couple hasn't touched each other in months, sometimes years, but they still say they love each other. Is that love real, or is that just a comfortable companionship? Some people do it for the children. Kim, Camille, Juggernaut, what's going on? What's going on? Some people say love can survive anything. And a lot of people say without sex, we're just roommates with an emotional history. So tonight we're going to talk about this. How important is sex to keeping love alive? And can love stand on its own without sex? Can there be love with no sex? That's the question I'm asking. What do you all think? Is sex important to the point where it can change the love that you have for someone? Is sex that important? Juggernaut said he wants his lady to be his freak. He said you have to keep it exciting, at least make an effort. And Juggernaut also said, no, no sex in a relationship doesn't work out well. Do you equate sex with love? And I apologize for cutting the camera on and off. I got something going on over here. I need just before I actually leave the camera. But Juggernaut said he wants his lady to be his friend. But Juggernaut, if you love this woman and you wanted her to be your freak, what if she didn't enjoy sex the way you enjoy sex? Would the love still last? Or is sex intrinsically attached to love? Dark Star, is there such thing as sexless love? Shouts out to everybody watching on Facebook. Shouts out to everybody watching on Instagram. And as well, Africa TV, my people in Nigeria and South Korea. And most definitely the people right here, the MA family. That's right here. YouTube. Juggernaut said you would have to have a serious conversation if there was a sexless relationship. So my question is there such thing as sexless love? And if there is, can you have sex with someone outside of your marriage or your relationship or your cohabitation, but still love the person that you're with? Darkstar says sex is a part of intimacy between two people. Once you lose that, something is lost. But I mean, some people grow to a point where sex doesn't really matter as much. You may have been having sex like rabbits in your early age or in the beginning of your relationship. Doesn't have to be you. If the sex slows down, do you think something's wrong? If you were having sex every day, and then it went to you having sex 2 or 3 times a week, would you think there was some? Maybe there's other things in life that are going on where maybe it's not time or energy to have sex. Bill said she thinks a sexless relationship leads to infidelity. Okay, and I understand you said sexless relationship leads to infidelity. But what if love is still there? Should the person that doesn't want to have sex understand if the person that does want to have sex steps outside of the union to relieve that tension? And then once the sex is over, I mean, love isn't lost. Or is that a lack of love because a person that's in a sexless relationship wants to have sex and may go outside of the union to achieve that? I'll be honest. For me, there has to be sex in a relationship. Even if I don't look at, I look at intimacy as a way to show love as opposed to looking at sex. Because I'll be honest, there are some things sexually that I might not want to do to my woman. I don't want to do everything that I've done sexually to my woman, to the woman that I wake up and look at in the morning. Wrong. Darkstar said, yeah, somebody's gonna feel different or something's missing. I wouldn't say that all the time. So basically, you all are saying that if a woman's in a relationship with a man and medically something medical happens and he can't perform, does the love leave? Or in sickness and health till death do us part? They say he needs his foreplay and his throat baby. What's going on, YWG? What it do? What it do? Darkstar said, hell no. 18 years. I was never unfaithful, even when things became sexless. When it was done, she left. So Darkstar believes that there can still be love, even if there's no sex, But when it's over, it's over. That's the difference. That's a different situation if it's a medical concern. Some people don't see it that way. Some people see it as he can't perform, and I guess I gotta get it. I gotta get it. And medically, there are instances where women can go from wanting a lot of sex to not wanting sex at all. If the woman or the man doesn't want to have sex, do you have conversations with the significant other to express these concerns and to say, maybe I'm gonna go outside of our union to fulfill my sexual wants, but I don't want anything to change about our love? Or is that a person that just wants to go out, but they still want the security? How do we look? How do we look at that? Hey, Jody. I told Jody. Jody talking about somebody was gonna get pegged. No, Jody, no. No, Jody. Jody, you wild for saying that. Medical conditions are different. Okay, I mean, okay. Medical conditions are different. So what you are saying is that if there's sex in a relationship and then it just stops, then there has to be something wrong or something going on outside of the marriage. That may not always be the case. May not always be the case. Dark Star said you have to communicate with your spouse about everything, money, households. Yeah. But if you're in a marriage, these are conversations that you, I mean, I don't think that there's any conversation that should be too hard to have with your significant other, whether it's good or bad. Again, can you love someone without sex? And a lot of people, that's not that's not going to be kosher. A lot of people couldn't be in a relationship and there be no sex. Darkstar said some people aren't emotionally mature enough to have those or emotionally intelligent. But you have to have these conversations. So again, is sex a part of love? Because I'm going to ask this question and I already know the answer to it. Do you love? This is a question to everybody. Do you love everybody you have sex with? Then to bounce off of that, should you love everyone you have sex with? I said people get older and things change sometimes. I would love my person through the hard times. So we're equating no sex with hard times. And I'm just asking, do we equate no sex with hard times? Because Camille says she would love her person through the hard times. With no sex be considered a hard time? And Pontoon Jody said, who wants a sexless marriage? I'm going to give you all time to answer that question. Do you love everyone you've had sex with? And should you love everyone you have sex with? I think people in the non, I think people in the ethical, non monogamous group, the open relationship group, would say that no, I don't love everybody I have sex with. We have people that will be in a relationship and have a side piece. Do they love their side piece? Or do some people just love sex? Dark Star said, I'm not having sex with someone I don't have some emotional attachment. What do we say to, how do we think people that are married and swing look at this? And that goes back to what I said. Is sex intrinsically attached to love? Or does it depend on the person? There are men, Camille said, no sex is definitely hard times. There are some men who know that they can't perform or they can't pleasure their significant other, that allow their significant other to be pleasured in the presence of them. And they say they get enjoyment out of seeing their significant other have enjoyment. YWG said, I used to keep emotions out of sex, just straight bang, bang, bang. Okay. Dark Star said she has old fashioned ideas. She's a serial monogamist who believes in courtship. I believe in courtship as well, Dark Star. But the thing about people who believe in courtship, we have to be careful because courtship is opening yourself to express to a person through different ways how you feel about them. If the other person isn't reciprocal of courtship, you can get used up. So we have to be very, very careful because we believe in that courtship. But being that we do take people through courtship, we learn more about them before we commit. And that's why sometimes we can be talking to someone for 6 or 7 months, and then it may not work out. So I'm with you on that, Dark Star, on the courtship. But yeah, people who adhere to courtship can potentially get used if the other person isn't reciprocal to being courted. And YWG brought up a good point. Motionless sex. Is that something you do when you're young, dumb, and you're full of? That's something that you go out of having emotionless sex. These back Anthony Edwards. Let's talk about him and one of his baby mothers. One of his baby mothers, the one that he paid her out for her child support. He paid her 18 years of child support, gave her a check for $1 million. News article came out today that she's already spent that money. I think that was less than a year ago. Dollars, and we're not even out of 2025, and she's broke. How does that happen? How does that happen? Because if you leave $1 million in the bank for 30 days, you get something like 22,000 in interest. It always amazes me how people with millions can go broke when all they have to do is just sit on the money for 30 days and 20, 20,000, 22, somewhere in that range where you let that money sit and you spend the interest. Know how that happens. Is that emotionless sex? But a baby was created out. Men, do men get caught up having emotionless sex? Women that they may not see as a significant other. Asking some tough questions. Sex. Is sex, I think it depends on if you look at sex as a need or sex as a want. Now, if you need sex, that can be good or bad. Want sex, That's different than it being need. All like sex, but is it necessary for love? Is sex necessary for love? And it seems like both men and women say yes. But we don't always have sex for love. Sometimes sex is for fun. Dark Star said most people who have sex with someone, they won't bring home the money. Most people will have sex with someone that they won't even tell their friends about, let alone mom. That's why it's creeping. Creeping. It's how you can have sex with someone that you may not necessarily be attracted to, but you may like their sex. Anybody ever been in one of those situations where you might not necessarily see person, dude or the woman might not necessarily, dude if you're a woman if you're a man might not necessarily been someone that you would take out on a date, but they sex was the bomb. That's not sex for love. That's sex for fun. YWG said he was putting notches in his bedpost. Then YWG said Anthony Edwards' baby mama ran through that money. Yeah, she's already looking for more. She went to the court today. She's trying to get more money. You know they're going to ask her. Yeah, they said she failed businesses. Yeah, but then they got a picture of her and some boots and yeah. The 304 pose, looking over the shoulder with a big booty, front and center of the picture. The 304 pose. She was living above her means, Camille. That she was. If you spent $1 million in less than a year, if you spent a million, yeah, you was going nuts. Nuts. And I guarantee you, a tenth of that money was spent on that baby. That's generous, $100,000. I'm gonna say she spent $100,000 on the baby, but the rest of that money, it didn't go to no child care. Sell that monkey. I know G says she fucked over her. She did. The only one that suffers in this is that baby because she had $1 million. I think there's, that's irresponsible. The sex that her and Anthony Edwards had was irresponsible sex. It's irresponsible. It was irresponsible sex because you're having sex for fun and then you bring a baby into the equation. We was having fun. We was not having sex to procreate. We was having sex for fun. But in the times that we live in, there is no such thing as sex. I mean, yeah, it is. But fun can get you in trouble. YWG said, that was me. Keep them out in the street. Most have never met mom. YWG said, YWG said he banged out a few gremlins. Why do you always see you in? Yeah, that was sex for fun, not sex for love. Star, you said you have to. No, you just got to be protected. If you protect yourself, there's no need for agreements. If you protect yourself, there's no need for agreements because nothing is going. You going. I mean, I don't know about other dudes. You gonna tie that rubber in or not? People get mad, so they don't flush them down the toilet. Not telling you what to do. I'm not. But yeah, I'm not telling you what to do. But you never leave your DNA. I'll just put it that. You never leave your DNA. Men, now, I ain't telling you to flush it down, tie it in a knot, and flush it down the toilet. I'm just telling you, don't never leave your DNA. Back to the premise. What place does sex hold in a relationship? And is sex over? Sex can be fun. But once you're in a union, I think the dynamics of sex change. I think that there are other things that are more important than sex. It's just like in my older years, I don't necessarily look at looks as the end all and be all for a woman to be a good one. Nobody's perfect. I don't think I would want a perfect. I think I like flaws. I like curves. Yeah. I like woman parts. I like big woman parts, and sometimes big woman parts come with love handles and things of that nature. But that's what I like. I like women that look like women, baby men, and sex isn't just intercourse. I think that intercourse has misplaced value in the overall scheme of intimacy and sex because so many people are so quick to get to that. Foreplay is so much fun, but foreplay comes with intimacy, and not all sex is intimate sex. Do you go all out in every sexual session? Or do you only go all out when there's an emotional attachment? Because there's some people that will say, if you're not going all out, you're wasting somebody's time. Do you go all out in full intimacy every time you have sex? And that can be in a quickie or a long session. Intimacy is, yeah. You can't be intimate with everybody that you have sex. I mean, you can, but if you're intimate with every sexual session, what is saved for your significant? Just ask me a question. We are 46 minutes into the show. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Right now, I'm going to ask the people that's watching on Facebook and the people that's watching on Instagram, come over and join the conversation. There's a lively conversation going on in the chat. Hit the like button on your way in. Hit the like button now if you haven't already hit the like button. Share this video out. Subscribe to the page. Get me in the algorithm. We have grown conversations over. I ain't no clickbait. I ain't over here buck dancing and shaking and wiggling and yelling and cussing. No, we have a real grown adult conversation. Friday nights we talk about sex. That's what we do. So Facebook, Instagram, come over to YouTube and join us. Juggernaut said it can change if you let it. Darkstar said her parents had an agreement. All child support went into a trust fund for my education. I still support. Yeah. If the court makes a man pay child support, then the court should be over those funds and how they go out. And if you want court supervision, get court supervision. You can't just supervise the man and not supervise the woman, because the man is supervised to give the money. The woman is unsupervised once she gets the money, as we see with Anthony Edwards' baby mom. Anthony Edwards was supervised to give her $1 million. They gave her the money unsupervised, and look what happened. Truth. Truth. There needs to be supervision on both sides. It's just how I look. You supervise the man to give the money to take care of the child, but then you give the money to the mama, and the money is unsupervised as to what she does with it. Make that make sense? Is sex a weapon? Is sex a weapon? Can sex be weaponized? And can it be weaponized by the misplaced value that's put upon it? I mean, we know it can be weaponized. Women weaponize sex every day. Look at all the basketball players going through it. Those women weaponized Sex. Or am I looking at it wrong? I love sex. Juggernaut says sex has always been a weapon. Sex is a weapon. I love sex, but I don't misplace its value when I'm in a relationship. And that's because I equate intimacy with love. I don't equate sex with love. So I can go, I can go a few days without having sex. But that does not change the fact of how I feel about the person that I'm with. Because I don't exalt sex. I don't misplace its value in a relationship. And a lot of people misplace the value of sex in a relationship. That's why 304 culture is prevalent. That's why that's why Meg the Stallion put a video out. Give your pussy to your man, or give your pussy to your man, or whatever that new song is. That's how she can put a song out like that and it get played on radio. Because of the misplaced value of sex, a lot of women are turning their back on that. Get me wrong. I love sex. But in a relationship, in a union, in something that, yeah, it's more about intimacy as opposed to sex. Darkstar Darkstar said in her case, trust was in her name, not the payment. She couldn't spend the money until she right. That's how that money should have been done. Or there should be a executor, and they can go to the executor and say, "We need some money. We need the money to do this. We need the money to do that." That's different. Yeah, but yeah, the man is supervised, but the woman is not supervised with what she does with the money. That's not logical. You have cases like this. But she just spent $1 million in less than a year because gave it a million and she didn't know how to handle money. Can spiritual or emotional connection replace physical intimacy? Or is physical intimacy it's what it is? Right, Dark Star. And men shouldn't be poking everything. Dark Star says she's not sorry. Women shouldn't be spreading their legs for everyone. Men shouldn't be poking everything. That goes both. We're coming up on 55 minutes in the show. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. We're talking about sex's place in a relationship. And me, I'm of the vein that I think that sex has misplaced value in the bigger scheme the bigger scheme of things when it comes to a relationship. Now, it is important. There must be enjoyment. There must be physical enjoyment. But I don't think that physical enjoyment is the main precursor in love. Because if you come to love someone before you have sex and you love this person, if when you have sex with that person, does that love change? That's like getting married, not having sex before you get married, and then getting married and not enjoying the sex and leaving the person. That's what that equates to. Or do you, because of your love for that person, do you work? You say we can, let's do this, let's do. I think that love, sex is a part of love, but its value is misplaced, and its value is low on the spectrum. I think love is expressed in way more ways than the way you'll stroke or your wop. That's me. I don't think that the power of love is guided by sex. Sex is part of it. And sex can be a really good part of it. Good sex is good. Yeah, everybody wants to have good sex. But if the sex isn't as good as, you know, an ex from I love him, but our sex just isn't. Do you do things to make the sex better? Asking real questions, y'all. Everybody's quiet. Plus, we ain't talking about 50 pumps and yeah, sometimes we got, yeah, we're gonna have, yeah. Because people say that it doesn't necessarily have to be love to be in marriage, but everybody has said there has to be sex in a marriage. You still haven't, if you're in a relationship where you want to have sex and the other person doesn't want to have sex, do you not have sex? Or do you go out and get sex? And if you have to do that, is your love still the same for the person that won't give you sex? Some women will work with their man if he has erectile deficiencies. Some women won't. Oh, he can't perform. Was her love any different than the woman that will stay there and help? I would say no. Sex was more important than whatever other connections that they had that brought them together. And that's what I'm saying, you all. It wasn't sex that brought you to the point where you wanted to be with someone, to the point where you love someone. Now, sex was a part of that. But I don't think that sex is the main precursor to love. That's me. I believe there's other things about that person that made you love them, not their stroke, or not their wop, or not their throat, or not their tongue. Now, all those things can enhance those things, but that little fruit flies. It's one. I got one fruit fly. I can't kill it. Darkstar said humans, like rats, are highly social creatures. We need social and physical interaction. True. And intellectual interaction. There are people that are sapiosexual and they need some mental, intellectual stimulation to feel a sexual connection to a person. Y'all know this is Maas. I ask tough questions. It's what we do. We never come to a consensus, but we come to an understanding. Kill this fruit fly. It's gnat. Yeah, we're an hour into the show, an hour and 3 minutes into the show. This is the Sex Show, hosted by me, Maas. And tonight we're talking about what place does sex hold in a relationship. For some people, it's high on the totem pole. For some people, it's low. Some people, it's mid. But I think a lot of people have sex high. So high. I think a lot of people have sex over emotional attachment. And I think a lot of people have physical over emotion. A lot of people have. That's why you always hear people talk about makeup sex. We was mad and then we had sex and everything was okay. Not everything wasn't okay. You all just sex can be sometimes sex can calm whatever storm is going on. But the storm is still there. But the sex is a mask. Makeup sex. Oh, our makeup sex was so good. It was intense because you're doing something to try to make the other person not think about the bad stuff that's going on. That's why it's so intense. Darkstar said, if a woman is not on her mental level, she's not interested. Nobody wants to be around somebody that's dense, that you can't communicate. Can't have a face-to-face conversation and look them in the eye. That's We have to be able to laugh and talk. You got to know boundaries. And the only way you figure out boundaries is by communicating. And a lot of people are not communicators. I'm a communicator. I'm a communicator. I'm a social person. Yeah. I was dating one girl. She said that we stopped dating. And she said one of the things that she said I was too nice when I was in public. I was too nice. I can't help that people want to engage with me. And that bothered her. Oh, you talk to we out in public and people speak to you and you talk to everybody. She was like, I don't do that. I was like, you know, you don't have to speak. But I mean, you should be right here. I'm like, I'm a social person. I'm not closed off like it. It's always been like that. What's going on, Cuzzo? Cuzzo said men be wanting the sex the most. Most girls get text messages from dudes just like us boys. We really don't get any real females be texting us and be out fake links and bots. Because you talking to bots. You talking to some Chinese man on the other side. Yeah, you're right. Men want sex. What's this app? What's the app where women make the choice on who they want to see? A man can say that he likes somebody, but a man can I say I like this woman, but the woman has to initiate the interaction. What app is that? Where the women have, and basically they said that 80% of the women on the website and 20% of the men. It's funny. Yeah. But yeah. And I did a poll. You already know I did some research. So I did some research. And the reason I asked that question that I asked tonight, who wants sex more, men or women, is because when I looked it up, basically what they said was men want sex more, but women have more sex. Men want sex more, but on average, women have sex a little bit more than men. And I guess that's because I don't know. But where you going to bingo? Cause you young, man. Where you meeting women at bingo? Facebook dating? Nah, I wouldn't recommend Facebook dating. But bingo? I didn't know you. I've never been to play bingo. What type of women go to bingo? Cause you young, man. What is you doing at bingo, man? Bingo? Hey, I guess you can. It's this little dude on the internet. He finds women on the sexual predator list. He's kind of weird. Now, if he can do that, I guess you can find good women at bingo. Cause you young, you must like older women. If you meeting women at bingo, maybe it's young people that go to bingo now. I don't know. Young people play bingo. I've never been to bingo. Yeah. I've done a lot, but I may have to do that. Do they even have bingo play? The bingo places might be sold out now that people not, yeah, people gonna be looking to make some. I hate to say this, but a lot of people are gonna go to the casino trying to get money out. And you can't win money at the casino unless you play poker. and you're playing against other people. But the casino beat, yeah, I don't trust none of that. After all this stuff that's happening in basketball and all the cheating, gambling, and people throwing, I don't trust nothing. I'm not. I ain't never been one to gamble on no football games and basketball games and stuff like that. But gambling, the ugly side of gambling has shown its face. But yeah, I'm gonna have to talk to you when I come home because you're talking about girls on bingo, leading women at bingo. What's bingo? Bingo. Damn. Hey, yeah, sex has. Here go Dark Star. Her ham shack is inside the bingo hall. So you go into the bingo hall to get some food. Dark Star, you in there scoping too? You at the bingo hall, scoping, score. I mean, Dark Star, where is Scorp at? Scorp was on one last night. She probably had a little bit too much to drink. She was on one last night. Scorp told me we was gonna smash. I said, "Oh, Scorp, you over there hurt?" She was, yeah. Wow. Darkstar said there's some decent women in the bingo hall. Things you learn. Things you learn. I don't know. I got this. I don't know. I got this thing for nurses and beauticians. Nurses and beauticians. Those is women that make a lot of money. Nurses and beauticians. I got a thing for nurses and beauticians. I don't know why. It's just the way it is. And I had to get away from the damn Geminis. They crazy. Darkstar said they not her type. They not Darkstar. But we've had a good conversation about sex and its place in the relationship. And we've learned that some people hold sex in a high place. And sex is a necessity in a relationship. In any relationship, sex is a necessity. Frequency and intimacy, I think that's up to the two people that are in a relationship. But all relationships require sex, physical stimulation. And we've had discussions tonight about its place. Dark Star's a Gemini. Yeah, I had to get away from y'all. I had to get away from you Geminis. I don't know what it was. I just kept attracting Gemini. I had to get away. But yeah, we've had a very, very good discussion on sex and its place in relationships. As its place. And depending on who you are, it can be high up. It can be a requirement of you need your back blown out every day, or you need to get off every day, or you know. I think sex is more than intercourse. It's a lot more than intercourse. And I think people should broaden their minds and have more foreplay. Have more foreplay. It's your boy Maas, and that is my mantra for tonight. Have more.
Lab Addicts Music
You know what
Group.
time it is? This is Conversations with Maas.
And sex is a necessity for
Subscribe now.
any relationship.
Lock in. Let's go. Real
It
shit,
really depends on
man, we watching Maas. Real real shit,
what you wanna
shit, man.
Lab Addicts Music
place
Group.
that you put it in. Yeah, it's talking. But yeah, I'll probably be back on here. It's a late night game. Yeah, we had our sex talk. It wasn't really a fun sex talk. Next week we're gonna have a nasty sex talk. I already got the topic. Didn't do it tonight because I wanted to really stay on the topic of the conversation we had this week. I hope everybody has a good weekend. Get out, enjoy the weather because it's gonna be cold going forward. I'll see y'all maybe this weekend. Most definitely on Tuesday. It's your boy Maas. This is me, The Sex Show. I'm out.
Lab Addicts Music Group.